For step 5, I'm going to show you how to manage the background and the layout of your Google Slides here. So as I mentioned previously in one of our other steps, that when you add your background in of your flat image, you will see that it automatically adds a title and subtitle to your background. Now, the great thing about Google Slides and part of the accessibility that is already formatted within it is that the title and subtitle, or any of the portions of a layout, are accessible to a screen reader already. So the reason why I asked you to keep those pieces on your background is because we can use those to insert accessibility really easily. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to click on the portion where our title would be. I am going to use this to create wording or a message to my students to put on the whiteboard in the middle of my Bitmoji screen here. So I will be creating a video in our next step to explain our Bitmoji classroom to my students. So here I'm going to write, welcome, watch the video to learn about our classroom. Yours might be worded differently. Maybe you want to just have a welcome video to introduce yourself. It's really up to you, but make sure that this title matches your video or whatever you are wanting within this Bitmoji classroom. So you can see that it's kind of in a bad spot. It's hard to read, not very accessible to learners. So what I'm going to do here is I can take the sides, I can click on my title here, and then using the little cursors here, I can move the size of my wording. I can move it as well, and I would like it to be on my whiteboard. I don't like the size of it on my screen, so I'm going to highlight it, lessen the size of my font, and then I'm going to just click it around here so that it fits really nicely on my whiteboard. That way it is easy for my students to see. And there you go. Now, previously we talked about order and how the screen reader would read different portions of my Bitmoji classroom. And part of the way that it does that is the title is read before the subtitle. So because I put this in first, because I typed this here, this will be read before my subtitle text would be read. Now, remember, we already inserted the alternative text, so that will be read first, followed by my message here. So I am just going to make sure it's formatted how I want it to look. I can click away to ensure that this is how I want it to be. I am actually going to insert my video right below this. So that is why I'm choosing not to take up the entire whiteboard here. Now, if you also wanted to add more text for some portion of your Bitmoji classroom, you can then use the subtitle and that will be read after your title. So think about the order in which you want it in. I do not want any more text, so I'm going to choose to just click on it and then delete it. And I will not need that at this point in my Bitmoji classroom.